learned this song, Irene, from a friend of ours. His name was Hughie Ledbetter. He called himself Leadbelly, king of the 12-string guitar. Some people thought he was the greatest folk singer that ever lived in America. We know him best as a rememberer of folk songs, and he taught us dozens of them, especially Irene. This was his theme song, and he sang it for over 30 years before he died. Well, he died before Irene got to be known to so many millions of Americans. Hughie had a hard and wonderful life. It's over now, but his songs are still very much alive.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife are parting. I'm gonna take another stroll downtown. Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Stop rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and family. Stay there by your fireside bright.
Well, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Do I really gotta be the asshole that says we got in this thing and went back in time?
It must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Gentlemen, we're history.
Yeah, buddy. Rolling like a big shot. Chevy tuned up like a NASCAR pit stop. Fresh paint job, fresh inside. Is the outside frame in the trunk wide? Or the rims big? Do it right good. Lean back, right hand on the pine wood.
Is that your? You hear that?
Emmy? I don't hear it.
I hear. Hey everyone, welcome to Alex and Lemmy's Righteous Voyage. I hear some background noise. Does anyone else hear that? That's really strange. I don't know what to say there. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it stopped. Is that your AC?
No, it's probably my microphone.
Weird. Okay, well, anyway, we're going to deal with it tonight, guys. Welcome, everyone. I am here with lovely little Lemmy, and we're here to jam through 1950. While she fixes the mic, I'll vamp for a second. If you're new to the show, basically me and Lemmy built an awesomely broken time machine. We've been bouncing around the years 1950 to 2025 or something, and this year we actually ended in 1950. So we are going to adventure around and see what the stories were. Let me know when you're back. I mean, you can hear me, I assume. And
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. It's gone now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right now that the microphone's all right. How you doing?
Awesome. I love your new setup, dude. I think this is the first time Lemmy's new setup has been on the time machine, guys. So check it out. Give Lemmy a like. I believe her details for all her shows, and Twitch and all that crap is in the description, so please check it out. But Lemmy, that was the top song. We started that off, everyone, not to drive people off of the channel, but that was the top song of 1950, Goodnight Irene. And I also figured those people and even their kids and their kids' kids are dead, so no one's going to want to strike us. So, Goodnight Irene. So start, Goodnight Lemmy. What's going on? How are you? And tell us what your favorite things were about the year 1950.
The music probably was my favorite thing about the year 1950. I love that I read that the reason why the music was so good and like happy and there was a lot of group music going on
Yeah.
was that it was post World War II and everybody was just kind of settling down from everything being so chaotic. And the
Yeah, so
music kind of
hectic.
really reflected that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you probably couldn't even like afford food and stuff at the time. They were taking everything and putting it towards arms and, helping. So now you actually get to breathe a little bit, even though Korea is like either here or right around the corner. But it's like, it's a weird, the music so far throughout our journey has been able to really tell the people's temperature at the time, which nowadays I don't know if there's been a temperature in the last 20 years, but going through the 60s, the 70s, you see the different vibes of music and the way that like the world was changing. It matches up, which is really cool. So, do you want to go through the rest of the big songs from 1950? We're going to try to listen to some of them, guys. But let's go through Lemmy's list here.
I made a list for you fine people of 1950s bangers.
She did. Let me post it in the chat here.
Yeah, go. I was just about to do that.
You can. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you're gonna do
No,
it.
you go. You go ahead.
You focus.
You go right on ahead. We've got some Nat King Cole from from straight up 1950. Everybody knows that name. There was this kind of fun. It almost sounded Tarantino-esque. The Third Man by Anton Karas.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a little Hank Williams Sr. on there. A little Muddy Waters. And we got the Tennessee Waltz on there. I put that one last because it's a little long, and I figured it's a really good wrap-up song.
I'm gonna try to put these on in the background because they don't need to be loud enough for us to listen to the lyrics necessarily, right?
Right.
All right, rock and roll. Let's add a little
It's a little
ambiance. Tonight,
soundtrack.
everyone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Add to scene. Well, no. Oh, come on, man. I don't want. No. Remove from scene. Get out of here. So yeah, what was your? I don't know which one to start with. So if you just want to talk about what,
I would start with
keep
Mona
seeing-
Lisa.
Well, I also
I
keep
I
seeing-
curated.
Go
I
ahead.
curated the list as like it in pleasantness to listen to as it flows along. If that makes any sense.
That totally makes sense. I agree with you. I like the way I listened to it earlier, guys. I just thought it was interesting that I didn't know Bing Crosby had either a brother or someone else because it says all his songs were with Gary Crosby also. That seems like that's a new one to me, Gary Crosby. But 1950s bangers. Let's listen through Lemmy's list. We're going to skip Goodnight Irene because we just heard it. Oh, wow.
This
Takes you
one's
right back.
great.
Takes you right back
Oh
to a
my
time
God.
before either of us were born.
Yep.
Um,
I don't know. I listened to show tunes all morning on my stream this morning, so this takes me back to this morning.
which is a good time. Lemmy stream is always just music and fun. So what made creepy ass song? Yes, Genta thinks these songs are creepy. Does anyone have a cross? No, this is just music before they found drums and stuff. So don't be alarmed, everyone.
No, Goodnight Irene is a little bit creepy to be fair.
I always didn't understand. I mean, because I get it. It's Goodnight Irene, good night. But they in the song they keep saying they say it backwards. It does like the English doesn't work for me in the song as they're singing it. So that always just kind of shook me wrong. And it is like I'll see you in my dreams. It's kind of stalkerish, which I guess most songs were back in the day. But they had a woman in the band, and that big fat guy looked like a fish. Gordon Jenkins. All right. Well, if we're gonna listen to the music, I thought let's just talk about some awesome things from 1950. Guys, I'll be honest. The movies from 1950, it's a list of movies that you. Hello, yes, my friend. It's a list of movies I can't imagine any of us have seen. But if you have, please shout it out in the chat. But we have Samson and Delilah, King Solomon's Mines, Annie Get Your Gun. Now, Annie Get Your Gun I've heard of because my dad's talked about it. It's like an old Western, and Westerns were a big fucking deal for all these people. Cheaper by the Dozen, which I assume is like the first version of that Steve Martin movie. I don't know. It's amazing. Like nowadays we give movies and studios and creators shit for just doing sequels of things from like 20 years ago. And as I'm realizing it, as we go through this, like a lot of these things already existed. So they've been doing it their entire time. Cinderella, I assume that's the cartoon. Cinderella. I don't know if there was ever a live action one that would have done this well. Father of the Bride, another Steve Martin movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was really confused by that. Broken Arrow, which I can't imagine this is the pre-version of the one with John Travolta and Christian Slater. So I kind of want to look what this one's about. Guessing the time period, it's probably cowboys and Indians. So, and then the last two, All About Eve and Three Little Words. I can be honest, I've seen none of these movies, and I consider myself like a movie guy. I think I got to step it up and start watching more stuff from the 50s, just to see where we came from, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have any comments on those, on the ultra black and white era of movies that we were just talking about?
I think my era of movies really kind of started in the 60s, if I'm being honest. I like older movies, but they're more like the Seven Brides and like My Fair Lady that came out more in the 60s. But it sounds like a list of movies that I should watch. If the music is any indication for the entertainment created in 1950, those movies are all probably fucking great.
Well, the thing with these movies is that I not all of them, but most of them probably had music in them, because back in the day when you went to the movies, it was meant to be the theater. It was meant to be an experience that had everything. It wasn't just, movie. So, and then like even when I was watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it reminded me how much I hate musicals. Like I like the music in that because it's silly, but I hate when like characters just break out into song. And what's otherwise a movie, if it's on stage and they need to go from scene to scene because of singing, I get it. In a movie, it doesn't make as much sense to me that someone just breaks out into song. I don't dig it as much.
Don't ever watch Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, then. That happens a lot.
It's not the okay, God, yeah, I wouldn't like that then. I like 7 Days of Sodom, but that's a different movie from back in the day. Anyway, what I do have for you tonight, though, it's not a game so much, but I thought, what was different about this? Is the farthest back year that myself and Little Lemmi are going to in this journey. What's different about this time? So I just wanted, I came up with a list of things that you could do that are either illegal now or just not even possible now.
Oh.
So, Jimmy Stewart was in Broken Arrow. Okay, Jimmy Stewart I know of, obviously, because he was in the Christmas movie. What's it called? It's a Wonderful Life. That's Jimmy Stewart. So Claire, okay. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Dude, you guys are naming some old school. No, yeah, 90s Broken Arrow was not... I don't think it's from the 50s, but if they were pulling that off in the 50s, even like a fraction of that, I would have loved it. Anyway, because Broken Arrow in that movie, it means when like they lose a warhead somewhere. So it could have been something from the 50s. It could have been when we lost that shit over Spain and fucked them up. But, anyway. Okay, so in the 1950s, Little Lem, did you know that you could have your feet x-rayed at the shoe store?
Oh, no, I did not. What?
And I'm not saying that cigarettes are... I love how I started that sentence. I am not saying that cigarettes are vitamins out there, people. But you wonder the amount of cancer people had. They were just getting x-rays randomly. They were just like going into stores and being like imbued with x-rays. Retail shoe fitting, fluoroscopes exposed customers and children to x-rays to see whether a shoe would fit. So they wouldn't ask you, hey, how does your shoe fit? They would fucking x-ray you. It's not like, hey, how do your bones... Like, no. I think that could be one of the most egregious uses of radiation I've ever heard. That's worse than heating up a hot dog in a microwave. All right. So not only could you buy DDT for your house, you were expected to spray it inside your home. So while we're on the subject of cancer, I think that one's fucking wild. Because EPA canceled all domestic uses inside or outside in 72. So 20 fucking years for that. Oh, we have some comments here. Father of the Bride was with Liz Taylor and Spencer Tracy. Okay. Now again, thank you, Protein. That actually gives me a reason to check out 2 of these movies on the list. Jimmy Stewart and Broken Arrow, which I have no idea what it's about still. Broken Arrow is also a call for an airstrike on an overrun position. Huh. Are you saying the movie's about that, or that's what the term means in the military? Because as far as I know, in the Travolta movie, they were just making that shit up. But anyway. So, okay, so you could paint your house with lead-based paint. That, I feel, was pretty standard for a while. Leaded gasoline also, which we'd been using since the 20s. It was around till the 90s, so right in the middle of that. Let's talk about what our car would be like.
Oh.
No seatbelts, no airbags, no crumple zones.
I'm curious what a baby's car seat would look like in the 1950s.
I can't imagine. Yeah. So okay, hold on. Actually, they answered you. Seatbelts weren't even required until 1968, and kids were just bouncing around in the back with nothing restraining them. I would assume back then the mother would have to be traveling with the child and would have to hold the child. I'm going to look that up right now. When were car seats for babies invented? Or chill, how long do you use it? Till 2? How long are you supposed to use it? You're
until they're a certain height.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's not even that. Okay. Because we broke the rules with me, like, because I was tall enough. So, like, my dad used to have me sitting in the front seat at, like, 10, but you're supposed to wait till 12 or something. It's like, what the fuck? If you have a coupe, what are you going to do? Just have the kid climb in the back? Okay, here we go. The first child seats were invented by the Bunny Bear Company in 1933. They were meant to boost a child's height and keep them contained, not protect them. So, the first safety seat was not until 1962. So they had they had seats to stick the kid in and say, hey, don't fuck around while I'm driving at high speeds of 55. But still, it's like, no collapsible steering column. Now again, speeds weren't as high, so I can't imagine people were getting their chests caved in a lot. But there were probably a lot of deaths involved with this shit. And no shoulder belts, which I get seatbelt, no shoulder belt. I've always considered it the same thing. Have you ever ridden in a bench-seated car? As opposed to bucket seats? They were definitely... I remember I had family members with them in the 80s, but not many.
Yeah, I feel like I have distinct memories of riding on a bench seat, in a bench seat.
Yeah, it's just a different... There's nothing wrong with it. It's just different, especially if you have, like, stuff with you, like slides and shit. I don't know what's better or worse. I guess it's safety. It's better. Especially once you're attaching people to the damn thing. So, this is Hank. This is Hank Sr., Lemmi said.
Also, I just, if anybody, has never heard this song and is like, wow, that's so weirdly familiar, it's because Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob kind of, redid the song and made it her own in Bikini Bottom when she wanted to go home to Texas.
No way. See, the thing with Hank Williams... I got into him because of The Big Lebowski, because there's a couple of Hank Williams songs there that the Stranger is listening to. But then I remember I worked with someone. His name was Hooter. I don't know what his real name was, but he was named Hooter, and he always had either Hank Williams or something of the era playing. So it's an attractive way of singing, man. The way he could his voice and shit. That's fucking cool.
It's like a yodel.
Dude.
It's like a quasi yodel.
It's like a southern yodel. Absolutely, bro. I got to shout out Latanya. Nice to see you. I'm excited for your show later. I hope it's going to be a good one. Hank is the shit, so she knows. She knows what's up. The Pontiac station wagons. Us 80s babies got the end of the station wagon era. The beginning of the minivan. That's true. we had a minivan, and someone, a family member of mine, had an accident in the back, and then my dad sold the thing. And that's the last I remember of the minivan. I do remember it was wood paneled, also.
Nice.
Someone said thank you, Lemmy. I assume because of the music. Dude, just for being Lemmy, right? Guys, claps all around. All right, so what else is going on here? See ya. Golf clap. Not to totally change subjects, but I was watching again the video of Lemmy against someone, but when Lemmy had the awesome makeup on. And she's going like this, and she's going, here's your violin, here's your violin. And she just was doing the violin thing right up to the camera. It was so beautifully demeaning. I loved it. All right, anyway. So did you know that in the 50s, you'd be driving your seatbelt-free car to buy leaded gasoline, and then you would also put, like some people would put lead blocks in the back of the car because they thought it increased safety. It would keep you, like during crashes or something, like you would have more weight. I don't know why they would. I mean, I remember when I lived in Rochester, the idea was some people said if you put more weight in the back of your car, it's better for driving in snow. And then I talked to like my physics teacher, and he was like, well, no, that just, it throws off your center of gravity from what the car is meant to do to like cinder block. There was reasons why you shouldn't do it. Like, it's not definitely going to fuck you up, but it's not like a brilliant idea. So I don't know, people in the 50s were just doing shit to their cars, which already were heavy enough, I'm imagining. The airports were totally different. No metal
Smoke
detectors.
in the airplane.
Not even smoke on the airplane. They were giving you full-on meals. I saw a picture of a guy with a turkey. Like an uncooked, not uncooked, Jesus Christ. Like a full roasted-ass turkey this big fat fucker was eating. The fascination of, like, the airport, I mean, the airline itself used to be like a luxurious experience. It was like people got dressed in suits and they gave you cigarettes. Not only did you get that could you smoke on the plane, I thought I sent you the picture I saw on the internet. Like 3 or 4 companies or airlines had their own branded like 6-pack of cigarettes. It was like a mini pack. It looked so cute. And it was 6 TWA cigarettes that they would give you as you were coming on the plane.
That's awesome.
Fucking blows my mind, man. I can't... Like, I know time machines, not gonna happen, but God, there's so many reasons to want to go back just to see that shit. You've lived in a couple different states. Obviously, we were both young at the same time as far as smoking sections and all that shit. Do you remember being old enough to smoke in a restaurant that you could smoke in?
No. I don't think I could only smoke in bars by the time I was old enough to smoke. And I didn't start smoking until I was like 19.
Because I didn't smoke early. Yeah, I started when I was 19 in college and my first cigarettes were Marlboro Lights because that's what my brother smoked. And I remember I had 1 pack and I was like, these taste like piss. And I was like, I'm never smoking again. And then I had a red. And I was like, oh, I get it. So I just, I got back into smoking. But I remember I was never able to. And then I went with a girl I was dating to Michigan, where she was from. And we went to, I don't know if it was Waffle House or something of the sort. But it was, you were allowed to smoke inside. And I was just pounding cigarettes because I was like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I get to smoke indoors while I'm eating my soda and stuff. It was just crazy. You could still do it in Europe in some places at the time. But even now, it's basically outlawed. So, in the 50s, you could smoke in a restaurant, smoke at your desk at work, smoke in hospitals, smoke in movie theaters, buy cigarettes from vending machines. You could ride in the open bed of a pickup. I guess that wasn't illegal yet. I have a list here of things. I asked ChatGPT to put me a list of the craziest things. You could put several children in the car without child seats. We already talked about that. I can't tell if it's my headphones or that one's just very loud.
It sounds like the 1950s ripped hard.
Yeah, I can understand why my dad's such a crazy person. You could throw trash into a backyard burn barrel. What
nice.
So you could just have a fucking barrel and say, I'm just going to burn all this shit out. And no offense, I've always kind of wanted to do that. Not like I have a ton of stuff to burn, but nowadays it's like you get financial documents and you keep them for X amount of years. And then it's like, well, I guess I got to shred these and spend 3 hours of my time feeding little, like 2 at a time into a shredder, or I go out back, have a pit in like a little can, burn it all in 10 seconds, and and it's a little fire for the environment.
Boxes?
Right there, boom. Yeah, just wait, boxes of fire?
No, just boxes, like deliveries and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah, you
instead
just
of
pull all
having
the
to
shit,
break
it's
down
gone.
the thing. Yep, boom.
If stuff is reusable, fine. But when it costs more energy into the environment to take the paper and make it paper again, then we've lost the thread. We've lost it because it's a tree. It can regrow. Metal, I understand. Metal, you clean it. It's probably easier to do that than make it from scratch. But trees, they're growing like fucking potatoes out there, man. They're growing. So I never got that part of it, and I'm glad they kind of leaned away from that recently. You could buy consumer products with no child restraint. You could buy toys that would easily be flammable or chokeable or whatever the fuck. You
Probably
didn't even
covered in lead paint too.
It says they didn't even have helmets back then for bicycles and stuff. That sounds about right. I don't know for a fact. It's the 1950 is almost the exact dividing line for modern prescription medicine. The Durham-Humphrey Amendment of 51 clarified the distinction between drugs that could be over-the-counter and drugs that could be sold for prescription. So basically, there was no boundary before that, which I assume it doesn't really mean so much that your doctor would be prescribing you vitamin C. It means so much that they would have fucking bottles of heroin there or whatever the fuck, and people were just picking them up. You could mail order a firearm.
Wow.
Can
you do that today?
I'd assume in some states you can maybe do it, but I don't know the ins and outs of that one, because my parents were the ones who went through the firearm stuff, and that was in New York/Connecticut, so it took them like 6 months just to get the permit, just to be able to buy the shit, and it was nuts. So any world where you can walk in and walk out within like the same week with shit is just foreign to me. Let alone this, you just get it mailed to you. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild to me. But hey, party on, man. All right, let me check the chat real quick. Sorry, they've enjoyed. I love the idea of the music tonight, Lemmy. We have to start doing this. I think we're gonna have to start putting music in the background.
If we can.
If we can. If not, I don't care. Projectiles, indeed. Oh, the children in the car? Absolutely. That's what I'm scared about with his little ass. I have a seatbelt for him, but I don't put it on all the time. For him, for me, I do. But excuse, what the hell are you doing, grabbing my thumb? Yo, One Pun, how are you doing, man? And how's your pup doing? I hope you're doing well. The bed was the best spot atop the spare. Yeah, I mean, I know if you're from Texas, I guess the truck bed is the place you want to hang out, but those of us that are, like, we had floors and stuff growing up and shoes, we don't sit in truck beds. My grandpa burnt everything in the backyard barrel daily. Well,
yeah, that's base.
As badass as that is, I do see the point of maybe reserve it to like 1 day a week or 1 day a month, so people don't just have a perpetual tire fire, like the Springfield tire fire, going in their backyard. Because that can get a little unsightly. You're just driving around and there's black smoke billowing everywhere. Genta, I will make you a mod. My mod has, I don't know if they're around anymore. They disappeared for the night. Kimberly has taken the night off, although she messaged me. She said she doesn't like my opinions on Rocky Horror. Which, I'm wrong a lot. That's okay. Lemmy, do you want to hear about some things that were invented right in 1950 or around it?
Sure.
This one I was really fucking surprised about. Did you know the modern credit card was started in or at least it was around in 1950?
Wow.
Diners Club. Oh, and it started, actually, okay, there you go. It started in February 1950. It was 200 members who could use it at 14 restaurants. So that's how Diners Club started. I never knew. Because by the time we were growing up in the 80s, Diners Club was like a joke. It was like a credit card you could only use at certain places, but like, why wouldn't you just have a Visa? Because you could use it at all places. So that's why it failed. Or at least it's not as popular. But look at this. Frank McNamara, and Ralph Schneider launched the Diners Club in New York, of course. 200 members could use it. Rather than having an individual account with every restaurant, one card worked across multiple businesses. And there had been cards before this, but they weren't linked together for the intention of borrowing money and using it all in one place. That's brilliant because that clearly led to the modern credit card and all that stuff. You think 200 people were like the pilot program for the credit card. Could you imagine me in one of those 200 people? You go into the store and the other peasants are paying with fucking dollars and change, and they're like, "What's this guy doing?" Yeah. Well, plus the card was made out of cardboard, so you get it wet, you're fucked. Like,
yeah, you have to seriously care for that thing.
I was gonna say, yeah, you better. I would want better than that, but that's all they had. The pacemaker was introduced in 1950.
Oh, excellent.
Canadian engineer John Hops, working with Wilfred Bigelow, always an amazing last name, Bigelow, and John Callahan, developed the external pacemaker in 1950. It was massive. It looked like a radio that they had to carry around with them. It had vacuum tubes, and it was powered from a wall outlet, so you were literally plugged into electricity. Like, that's fucking...
That's awesome.
That's awesome, but that's bonkers to me. Like, that again, you're the... But that's how we get to where we are today. Like, again, the TV remote, that's the next one on the list. The TV remote was introduced in 1950, but it was connected to the TV, and it was only for certain models and stuff. So it's like, again, you got to walk before you can run. You can't come up with a fucking wireless remote in 1950 off the bat. You start with something like that. I remember growing up, because I had a hand-me-down TV. First, I had the knobs, and then my second TV, we had this thing on top which had buttons. Have you ever seen this? It had it had like 1 through 38 in buttons. So I'd have to like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah, it was analog to get to it. And I only had X amount of channels. And then after that was when my dad finally got a black box for everyone in the house from our friend Roger out of his car. And then I had all the channels. But before that, I'd have to get up and go cha-chung. It was really fucking cool. I liked it better than the other one, because the other one I only had one channel. I had channel 3. So, man. But again, fucking technology, it's just... I don't know, man. The plastic garbage bag was invented in 1950. Meaning people were just putting their trash in paper before this, I assume. But
we did that for a while. My family would get their groceries in the paper bags, those brown paper bags, and then we would put the brown paper bags in our trash can.
Okay. See, that's... I remember growing up when they would ask paper or plastic. That I remember. But growing up, our garbage men would not take it if it was not in a plastic bag. Because what they do was they would take the bags out by hand and throw them in the truck.
Oh.
Where we are in New York, we don't have like a standardized thing where it's like the bins are on the side of the road and they pick it up automatically. Like, we never had that. We always had guys coming down and they'd pick the shit up. So if you didn't have your stuff organized the right way, they wouldn't take it. They just leave it. But the fucking... I can appreciate that because they're recyclable and stuff. It's better than plastic in the environment. But to me, it's like sometimes with garbage, if you cooked and you got like eggs and stuff, you're putting it in paper. Is it like soaking through? I don't know, man. I'm a nerd. The Bigelows married into the Heightentites. I think you mean the Hottentots if you're talking about the Africans. This song is soothing. Yes, Genta, thank you. All these songs have been soothing. Lemmi is the best DJ I've ever had around here. Because I've never had one, so she's also the worst, technically. But... grew up with some Bigelows, giant fucking ears. Is that what it means in like in Celtic? Knobs. We had pliers because that plastic shit broke so fast. What? I'm forgetting what we were talking about.
On the knobs on the television.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you had. That's right. You had to use the thing. I remember my brother broke the antenna for my grandmother's TV, and she never fucking forgave him. She moved out of that house like a year after, but she never let him live that shit down. So. That's Italians for you. We don't let things go. Sorry. Paper bags burnt better. Well, true. Although for me, and that's the end of the playlist, everyone. For me, put us back front and center. When we were at Boy Scout camp and camping in general, nothing was more fun than burning plastic. In retrospect, horrible for us, horrible for the environment, just bad all around. But that's what we did. Anyone remember the switch button cable boxes? 3 rows. That's, I'm pretty sure, what I had. That sounds familiar. I don't know if... I thought mine was 2 rows, but I haven't seen it in like 30 years now. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm getting old. I remember turning the vertical and horizontal holes. I do remember having to get shit in, like tracking and stuff. I remember that. Do you remember? You've seen Married with Children, right? The TV
Yeah.
show. They were on Fox, but they used to make fun of Fox because Fox always had the worst signals back in the day when they first started. They had like the shittiest satellites. So Married with Children, when they were like, "Oh, we have to watch blank, it's on Fox," get in Fox viewing positions, and they would all like attach something made out of a household item to the antenna and then like pose. It was because that's how things used to be. You didn't just get TV magically through Wi-Fi and stuff. It was fun, man. It was a different time. I'm glad I got to experience that. I'm glad that we got to grow up in like a time where we saw both. I can't imagine just growing up in this. You know, if anything, I would have rather just grown up in that. The before, the before phones and stuff. I know that sounds cliche, but it's really like there's a delineation for how people live their lives and stuff. When you see events and you see people celebrating things, before a certain point, everyone was just there. Now everyone's got their phone out. And that's just,
Yep.
I don't know if
No
that's
one's
good or
hanging out.
bad. No one's hanging out. And that's why I stopped doing it. I used to record shit too. Like, I never want to forget this time I saw this awesome thing at Disney World, or I've never gone back and looked at any of those things. I should have just been enjoying it because my memory is still there from it, but I was too busy fucking around with stuff. So, Boy Scout camp was not like band camp. Lacrosse camp was like band camp when we had the cheerleaders camp there at the same time, and those girls got batons, and they stunk by the end of the trip. Let me tell you, by the end of those girls. Anyway, the pager was actually first used in 1950.
Oh, get out of here!
A
How
paging
big
system
was that thing? About as big
paging
as the
system was put
pacemaker,
into
probably?
operation. Yep. And again, he's probably carrying around a fucking backpack. It allowed doctors to carry a 7-ounce receiver. Okay, so half a pound. Not that, I mean, pretty good. Obviously, not as good as they used to be. And contacted within 25 miles. That's fucking wild. Again, especially for New York, I can see why New York would make sense because that covers Manhattan. So as long as the doctor's not traveling away, he's going to get that page. Doctors were effectively carrying primitive wireless notification devices. I wouldn't have thought the pager was out that early, personally. I know in all the old movies, like there's the cliche of the doctor with the pager and stuff, but fucking 1950, dude? Jesus.
How? That's wild.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, again, it's like this was worth mentioning because they're frequently tossed into. Oh no, I don't care about things that weren't invented in 1950. But yeah, and then there's a couple news stories for 1950. So Lemmy, do you have anything other awesome things to mention about 1950? Go ahead.
Silly Putty came out in 1950.
Did it really? Awesome.
Yep.
I was looking into toys, and
Also,
that one I missed.
Peanuts also came out in 1950. Charles Schultz's Peanuts.
I was going to say not the invention of the peanut because that would have been fucking
No.
crazy if that came out in 1950. The elephants would have been pissed, man. We took all that time. Who's your favorite Peanuts character?
Pigpen.
I was going to say Lucy or Pigpen for you because I think it's either Lucy or... I think it's Lucy for me, just in general. I don't even know if I have an and. I liked the black kid. I don't know his name, Melvin or Marvin or something, because Charles Schultz, he created him on purpose because I forget if it was a black kid wrote him and said he was getting bullied, or if some paper said they weren't gonna fucking put it in. He did something to make a stand at a time when it was cool to make a stand. So and Lucy
Also
because she was
Woodstock.
Lucy was a badass. What'd you say?
Woodstock would probably be my
Woodstock
favorite.
and Snoopy are separate, yeah. Because Woodstock was fucking. He was always fucking with Snoopy, and with
He
Charlie
was
Brown.
dark. I felt like he had a little dark sense of humor. I liked him.
Well, the show itself was like the memes about the show now, where it's like kids joke about the endlessness of life or the pointlessness of this or that, and then they dance. It's like it's a weird show because the writing is like it's bizarre. So I love it. I have a bunch of VHS that have ECW live pay-per-views. See, that's important. I used to record wrestling back in the day a lot also. But wrestling was important because, especially if you waited for the VHS to come out, they could change it, they could edit it. The ECW ones were frustrating because the entrance music was such a big deal in ECW, but they didn't have the licensing to any of it. So when they put a tape out, they had to change it all, and that was always sucked because it's like that's half the fun, man. When they're coming out and it's fucking the real music. So no more caffeine tonight. The autism is running hard. No, I think you should double down. I vaguely remember as a tiny galactic taking the trash to the dump with my mom. We grew up near each other, GWF. Clinton County is where I grew up. See, we're all from shitty areas in New York. Clinton, my God, dude, how did you survive? All right, Lemmy, do you have any other fun things for 1950? Because then I'll get into the news.
It was a really big year for aspic, tuna casserole. I think we covered
say
like
aspic?
1950. Aspic is that Jello mold, the savory Jello mold. But yeah, that's about all I've got. Oh, hold on. Oh, and you said you're gonna get into news?
I looked into the food a bit, but it was nothing too crazy from what we had seen before. But go ahead if you have anything
Yeah,
different.
it's not anything really that different.
No, that's fine. If you have anything interesting, go for it.
Oh no, you're getting into the news. I have news stuff if you're getting into that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like I said, they were out of war for like 5 years, and they were like, "Hey, we got to get back involved in something." So, June 1950, the Korean War begins. North Korea invaded South Korea. They crossed the damn 38th parallel. The thing was, unlike other wars where we kind of waited, since the U.S. was aligned with South Korea and it was still kind of a tense post-war period, even though everyone was happy, they immediately were like, no, we're sending troops. And I don't think America was necessarily ready for this, which again, I think creates that generation of people that are anti, like if, I don't want to say one thing or another because I'm not against the Korean people, but if America doesn't get involved in the Korean War, does the 60s and 70s generation of American kids have such an anti-war view or predisposition even before Vietnam begins? Now, true, I understand once Vietnam starts and there's disagreement about it, but I think from what you can see even going in, Vietnam had a lot of detractors from the get-go, which World War II would have if they didn't bomb Pearl Harbor and all that stuff, whether it's a false flag or not. That's why they couldn't get involved. It was like, no, we need to mind our own fucking business and build our own country back up. So I do wonder how these things affect, because again, as you're a kid and your dad's off at war fighting and mom's home alone crying, or dad doesn't even come home, and it's like, so I fought this war for Koreans, which that's great, but what was it affecting us? And now it's thrown my life into a completely different direction. So I think that could realistically, change, a lot of kids' minds and just, I don't know, not saying that everyone needs to be pro-war, but when you get involved in things like this, it's not just like, hey, we're backing up a country. It's, hey, what decisions are we making for the next 2 or 3 generations? And then, and because the families were going to fuck up. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Sorry, guys. I luckily had grandfathers that both went to Korea and came back. Although my parents would have already been born by then. So, actually, I think my mom was born. My grandfather was in Korea. So, but not like, not anything nefarious. Communist China entered the war, which makes things always fun because they got their billion people ready to fucking attack everyone. Truman ordered to make a hydrogen bomb ready, which again, I'm sure everyone's like, oh boy, let's do that again after I'm still embarrassed that we had to do it the first fucking time. I understand it was necessary, but it's like, that's such a fucking big choice to make. And to damn so many people. I can't agree with that, man. I can't necessarily. So especially to be like, let's do it again. Are you out of your fucking mind? How about we never do anything like that ever again? Like, we learned our lesson. We played with, like, God's fire and got away with it. Let's not try it again. Because I don't know. So, then also we had a lot of the communist, the Red Scare going on. There were espionage stories, people getting arrested and put on trial. I don't know if this was the beginning of McCarthyism or it's already started technically, but it's it's a fucked up time. As much as we're laughing earlier, like there's a lot of cool stuff in the 50s. There's a lot of assholes in power that are doing crazy shit, I think, and fomenting fear and whatever they want. And it, like I said, it backfires in the next couple generations because a lot of people hate this. And then that creates an even bigger group of people that are anti-conservative, anti-government, anti-whatever you want to look at it. So, the president had an assassination attempt. I didn't even know about this one until today. You hear about the actual assassinations with the president, unfortunately. But yeah, there was an assassination attempt. Two guys, two Puerto Rican nationalists came in, tried to kill him. Luckily, Secret Service stopped it, but they did kill a police officer. So it's like, news is never good, guys. I'm sorry. There's never anything fucking exciting in this news. I'm happy we got all the other shit out of the way. India became a republic. That's pretty cool. India gained independence from Britain. So they finally became the Republic of India. That's awesome. January 26th is their day, so I will celebrate it in the future. And yeah, there's nothing else good that I have to add. Would you like anything to add to this?
No, you covered just about everything I had on my list as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to do
Big
that.
year for Truman. No, you're fine. No, it's fine.
Big year for Truman. You're ordering death, almost getting killed. All those choices that good old Harry made. I don't know what to make of any of the presidents. It's tough because even if they're good people, I feel like they do such fucking decisions. They don't know what. Hello, we're not doing that right now. Okay, Ziggy, I'll give you something from the Young Old Vibes honorary treat bin. Young Old Vibes, I hope you're in the chat. If not, I will tell you anyway. Yes. I'll bet in the 50s, dogs didn't get treats, Ziggy. Good boy.
You could probably bring your dog on an airplane and give it a turkey leg.
I wonder about that. If back in the day you could do... I mean, he's small. So if I was of the ritzy class, I could probably put him in a bag and carry him around. But if I was like my class, and just wearing hoodies and stuff or whatever they wore at the time, they would have said, like, no, you get to the back of the plane and the dog goes in steerage.
If the dog smoked cigarettes, I bet they'd let that thing have a seat.
God bless that. Siggy, no, you never. Mookie smoked quite a few packs via sitting next to me in a closed basement, yes. Is God's fire like wildfire from Game of Thrones? That would be for Lemmy to answer. What is wildfire?
Wildfire? Yeah, it would be. It would be like the sept.
Okay.
That's God's fire.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't want to ruin it.
No, that's okay.
Don't.
Do your thing, dude. MacArthur called for 30 to 50 nukes if we were... Good God. One for every country. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. People being called commies left and right. Again, that became like an insult for like 30 years. Not even 30, until like 1990, basically. You call someone a commie. It was like, you pinko commie bastard. Like, you'd have kids fighting over this shit. Did you see that? I don't know if I sent that to you. We'll watch it next week because I don't have it on hand. It was a 1950s commercial where Frank Sinatra is defending a little Jewish kid who's getting bullied. Or no, it's from the 40s, I guess. Like, there's a kid that's, like, hiding from the other kids, and they're about to beat him up. And they're like... And Sinatra's like, what are you guys doing? They're like, hey, mister, don't you protect him? He's a Don't you say that. Oh, so you guys are Nazis, huh? I guess you're Nazis like that guy over in Europe. And they're like, no, mister, And they're like, so it's fucked up, but it's funny. So,
That's funny.
Truman used to make people give him reports when he was on the shitter. I mean, specifically while he was on the shitter? Like, only? Did he have like a slot?
That's a power move, dude. That's
I don't want anyone
up.
near me when I'm taking a shit. I never understood that, dude. I never got that. That's the raw shit smell. I don't want to be around someone else. I don't want them around me. I just feel... Lemmy and Genta Forever. Now, that is a show I would watch either on MTV or the Spice Channel. Let's be honest here. Otherwise, ladies and germs, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Lemmy, do you have anything else to add for tonight's 1950s episode?
Nope, I think that about covers it. I'm definitely going to check out a couple of those movies. I think maybe we should pick one movie on that list to maybe do a review.
Yeah,
soon.
Either do a review or watch along. I'm open to doing something on Rumble, especially if we get people over there. So let's try it, and if not, we'll watch it, and then we can review it for whoever didn't get there. So
Okay.
But also, before we go out, we're going to check where we're heading to next week. Now, the new rule is that we're not going to go to the same decade twice. We might eventually come up with something where we want to keep it even, so we don't just, if we get like the 50s, 60s, 50s, 60s, we don't want to just stay there. But let's see what we end up with. Let's rock, guys.
Let's go.
Have we gotten anything in the 2000s yet? No. Oh, we're about to. Oh, you son of a bitch, stop. Nice. Nice. 10 years ago today. We didn't get 2000. We haven't gotten anything in the 2000s yet, have we?
Nope.
I don't think so. Yeah, I gotta get a list together because things are getting 2016, everyone. So next week, myself.
Is it 2006 or 2016?
2016, 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So 10 years ago from today. That's awesome. I was still living in New York at the time. Lemmy, we were both 30. We were young kids. Doesn't matter what we were doing. We're going to talk about what the world was up to, and then we might mix a little in because it's fun when we go from an episode where we weren't even close to being alive to we're in the middle of our shit.
Full-blown adults, yeah.
Full-blown adults, yeah, making mistakes and everything, making kids and making mistakes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right, Lemmy, what's going on with you next in your life?
On Saturday morning, come hang out with me on Rumble or Twitch or both. If you're feeling froggy about it, I just listen to some music. Come hang out.
She's got an active chat in both, and they're both on the screen, so you can't really miss out, guys. There's no excuse. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Next week, we'll be back on our normal schedule, except moving to it. My shows are moving to 8 p.m., and then this one is going to stay at 9. But I'll post it on YouTube. So come back next week, 9 p.m. Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. And we'll be here, and we'll tag